3, 2, 1 to go ahead and get seated in their normal assigned seats. Today we're going to continue our learning on the Texas regions, but today with a focus on the economic side and how these regions make a living and how they have in the past and the present, comparing and contrasting the two. The first thing that we're going to do is draw popsicle sticks, okay? We're going to split up into 4 groups of 5, and this will be the group that you work with during the warm-up today, as well as the rest of the class for a project. So Group 1 is the coastal plains, Group 2 is the central plains, Group 3 is the Great Plains, and Group 4 is the mountains and basins. Now go ahead and please move with your group. You could sit wherever you would like in the classroom. You could stay at a table, the desk, the class library, the floor, wherever you'd like, and pull out any notes that you have from previous classes on Texas regions and review those to help you with the warm-up game. You will have 5 minutes to do so, and I will put the timer up on the board for you. All right. Okay, with all of your group, we are going to play a quick game of Jeopardy! We'll use 4 teams, and just go ahead and remember that before you give your answer, you have to say what is. So, what is the coastal region? What is cattle? You have to give that before you give your answer, okay? All right, now that Jeopardy is over, I want you to discuss amongst your group how you will present at the end of this lesson. Take a few minutes and discuss this with everyone. I want you to think about, do y'all want to do a slideshow? You can do like a play and act it out. You can sing a song. You can make a poster board like pictures on it. You could do however it is you would like. And I'm going to come around and ask how you would like to present. And I'm also going to be asking the questions that are behind me on the board that are a check for understanding, just on the few things that you could have learned from the warm-up game, your previous notes. These are things that should already be in your previous knowledge, okay? So basically what I need to know right now is Group 1. How will you present your research? And how will you conduct your research? So you'll conduct by using your textbook, and you will present with a slideshow. Okay, great job. Group 2, y'all are going to do a collage. Group 3, y'all are going to act it out. And Group 4, y'all are going to be singing a song. All right, that was amazing. So now I'm going to be handing out a blank sheet like this that has the state of Texas. And I want you to use this to take notes over the film that we're going to watch called Texas, the Big State. This is an older film, but it's going to show you how regions have earned a living in the past and the present. And I want you to write at least 3 facts for each region, so in total you should have about 12 facts. All right, can someone please share with me the rules for when we watch a film? Okay, we take notes actively, we sit quietly, and we don't distract our peers. That's great. All right, so let's remember those and begin watching the film. Okay, now that the film is over, I want you to explain what you've learned by, on the back of the sheet, writing something old that you already knew, and then something new that you learned from this film, okay? And now that we've done that, I want to have another discussion where you speak with your group about the things that you've learned. So, speak with your group and answer these. You know, they're behind me on the board for y'all to look back onto, but I'm also going to say them out loud. What are some things that you and your team learned that is new about your region's economic history? Now that you have all this information, is that something new that you're going to want to present to the class when you give your presentation? If so, how are you going to implement that into your classroom? Okay, so now I'm going to put up a blank shape of Texas on the board. And I want you to send 1 volunteer from each group to come up and label where their region is on the board, okay? We are going to check these after we're done. And while y'all are doing that, don't start yet, but while y'all are doing that, I'm going to be handing out this foldable that you will cut and color kind of like this, for you to take notes on the discussion that we're going to have next, because we're going to use a bunch of maps and talk about them, and this will be a great resource for your presentation. So, in saying whoever is going to go up there and write the region on the board. Once you leave the board, go to the supply bin and grab 5 pairs of scissors, 1 for each part of your team. And do not go up to the board until the other person has gone to the supply bin. I don't want a bunch of congestion at the board, so I need everyone to just wait their turn, okay? So group 1 is going to start, then group 2, then 3, then 4, okay? Alright, now that y'all have done this, let's check our map that I have that is already pre-labeled for our understanding. Alright, let's see. So, the coastal plains, y'all got that right. It's all along the edge of Texas here, because that's the coast. You know, the water's right there. Well, that's Mexico there, but there's a lot of water there. The central plains is up here. It kind of reaches up here, and then all that, the main part of Texas. The Great Plains, it comes all the way down to the coast. So it goes all the way through Texas. And then mountains and basins are right on the edge over there where it's real, mountainy. Y'all did a great job, and y'all got all the work correct. So now, using your foldables that y'all have cut while you were waiting on the other teams to finish, I want you to participate in this discussion that we're having, as well as helping me talk about the maps that we're going to look at. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is from National Geographic. And just go ahead and help me figure out, what industry is most popular in your region. So let's look back on this map, right? And we have the coastal plains. So over here, there's a lot of cattle and oil. The central plains is wheat and cattle. The Great Plains is a bunch of corn, cattle, cotton, and then on the mountains and basins, it looks like sheep and oil. Those are the main things, okay? And then on this map, we have one that says something a little bit different. There's cotton down here at the coastal plains, mountains and basins over here. There's cattle and oil in the Great Plains and oil over here. So those are some things that you can use as well to share about the economic part of your region. So now I want you to take a few minutes with your group and gather all the notes that you have from previous discussions, classes, your foldables, all of that. And I want you to find some must-have points in your project and how you're going to present them. So with your team, y'all discuss that and come up with that. Alright, now I'm going to be walking around the room to hand out these instructions and kind of explaining them to you so that you're not lost. And each team will have these to refer back to working on their project. So I want y'all to go ahead and go grab these supplies as I talk about them, and then I'm going to come around to each group. So group 1, go ahead and go grab 2 laptops. Group 2, go ahead and grab a laptop, some magazines, some glue, and some scissors. Group 3, I want you to just get 1 laptop, and group 4, just 1 laptop. But groups 3 and 4, when you get the laptop, I need you to connect it to the classroom printer so that you can print out a copy of your song and script so that I have that, okay? But there is no minimum time for these presentations, but you must cover these topics, okay? What industry was most profitable in the past? What industry is the most profitable today? What the weather and land conditions are in this region and how it affects the economy? What major cities are in this region and how they contribute to the economy? And comparing and contrasting this region's economics from the past. So you must all select a topic. There's 5 topics. There's 5 team members. You'll all have to cover at least one thing. And then you will each come up with introductions that include the name of your region, where it is, and a fun fact. And then a conclusion, which is restating the name and describing what industry is known there. So, for example, this was the coastal plains, and we are known for oil. That's the perfect ending sentence to remind everyone what your presentation was about. Alright, now that everyone is done getting all their work together, we're going to go ahead and present. I'm going to use an online spinner to spin and see which team goes first. That way it's fair. Alright, the results are Team 2 is going to go first. Team 4 is going to go second. Team 1 is going to go third. And Team 3 is going to go fourth. I'm going to be handing out a sheet like this for notes on the presentation. You'll take a note or notes for each group that's presenting, but not yourself. Okay, so if you're the mountains and basins, just write, this was my group right here, so that I know that you didn't skip over someone else's presentation, all right? And then I want everyone to help me remember, what are the rules for watching presentations? We take notes, we give our full attention, we do not speak to anyone else or distract others, we clap when they are finished, and we ask questions at the end so that they know that we were paying attention, right? All right, let's go ahead and share our presentations, and after that, we will share our thoughts on them and ask questions once they are complete. So, Team 2, go ahead and get up first, and Team 4, be prepared but be taking notes. All right, now that presentations are over, Group 1, can you please share one thing that you learned from Group 2's presentation? Group 2, one thing you learned from Group 1. Group 3, something you learned from Group 4. And Group 4, something you learned from Group 3. I'm glad that you were all paying attention. Y'all were great listeners and great presenters. Y'all did a great job today. So now there's one last thing that we'll be doing. You're going to get this paper I'm going to hand out, and it says, I learned the most from. And you're going to write a 1-paragraph letter to a peer, anyone in the classroom that you think that you learned the most from. And in that letter, I want you to write what you learned from them, why you think they're the one who impacted you the most, and one example that they did that made you learn the most. So in the letter, you have to specify what group they were in, their method, and the region that they cover, okay? You're going to write their name right here, and then sign it your name. And when you're finished, come up to my desk, and I have a bunch of these pretty markers, and you're going to get an envelope and label it with their name. Fold up the letter, put it in the envelope, and then hand deliver this to that person in the classroom, okay? And then when you're done, you are going to put it in the exit ticket box by the door so that I can read over them tonight, and I will hand them back out to you at the end of the semester when you get all of your classwork back, okay? Great job.